Welcome back to another video, Fire Family. It's your host with the most, Mr. Meyer with the fire. And I know what you're wondering. Am I going to survive this retrograde? Will this full moon bring me prosperity? Is this conjunction for me? Will Mercury nut? All this and many other AI generated clickbait will be answered in this video. Because I noticed I got over 10 times more engagement on the last video. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. It's good to see your beautiful face. And the only thing that changed really was the title of the video. So for my content creators, just know that you gotta get the attention and get them like that, man. So I don't even know what the fuck this video is called, but at the same time, it's gonna hit and it's gonna catch them like a fish. So I got a lot prepared for you, and I'm so glad you took the time to stick around. So yeah, my name is Mark, and I'm here to give you the astrology podcast of the week. And this is your favorite podcast for astrology. You got Mr. Meyer and you got Mirage in the background. That's the honey. That's my cat. She's just holding it down. Yeah. Let me pull up the chart and let you guys see what we're working with. And I'm gonna lay out the structure for this video because I got a plan, guys. Don't worry. I got this. And basically, I'm going to draw to your attention the major highlights of the week. Then we're going to talk about all the planets in their current positions, and then we can start to really dive into those minute aspects and then go day by day through the week and see how this is going to be. And we stay ahead of the curve, man. I'm filming this on Tuesday, almost at 11:11, but you know, Tuesday's effectively over, so this should come out Tuesday night slash you may see it Wednesday, but either way that goes, we're ahead of the curve. And make sure that you're subscribed so you can see these videos on a regular basis as well. So, about four different things I want to highlight really quick, guys. First one is we do have a full moon in this week, and it's the full moon in Aquarius. And this full moon is square to Uranus and very powerful stuff. We also have Mercury retrograde in the sign of Leo, and that's powerful stuff. Mercury will also be making a square to Uranus at some point. We've got Mars conjunct to Jupiter. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. And at the same time, both of those planets are square to Saturn. All right. We've also got Venus in the sign of Virgo. That's of note. And Venus will be applying to Mars in a square. And we'll get into what that means in a second, but let's just dive right into it, guys. So if you are enjoying yourself, the Leo season, the summer, let me know in the comments that you're lit. Post some fire emojis, or if you do know about your transits, because I always encourage everybody to follow along with their natal chart during these videos. If you know about your transits or you have anything interesting going up in that regard or in your progressions, please leave them in the comments and let us know. With me being a Leo myself personally, guys, I could talk all day about my transit, so I'm gonna not really do that. Besides say, happy birthday to the Leos. I had my birthday in July, but we're rolling through August right now, and we've got 9 more days of Leo season, guys. So that just means this is our last full week of Leo, and we hate to see it go. I wish it could always be summer, could always be Leo time, but this is your time to shine. And regardless of where Leo falls in your chart or where your sun is, you just got to remember you are a special person and you have a special destiny and you are the creator of your life. And while there are things outside of your control, ain't no use bitching about it, you know, no use displacing or giving away your power. This is your hero's journey. And Leo, every year when we get this month, it's kind of just a bold reminder that you're the one, Neo, and you got to break yourself out the box. You got to shine. You're the star. So ultimately, no pressure to perform. For some that need it, more power to you. But ultimately, I'm just telling everybody have a good time, enjoy your life. Whatever that special purpose is that lives inside of you. So whatever you got to do to fan the flame, that's quite all right. As long as you're not hurting other people or stepping on other people's toes, you know how it goes. Live your life bold, loud, proud, and fucking loud, man. Let it out. It's loud a word. Let it out, man. And, beat on your chest. Something cool about Leo I want to note is that this is the strength tarot card. So there's something to be said, I'm going to say, about getting strong. Summer body. Are you looking swole? What are we doing in that regard? Are we getting enough activity, enough physical movement? Are we putting in that work, putting in that pain? Because if not, there's no gain. Yes, so drop and give me 20, man. And I got the time for that because I'm really, in the captain's seat. The show must go on. But let me show you the show. I'm gonna animate this chart for everybody really quick. And we're gonna go, you know, day by day. The sun moves up 1 degree every day on the 18th, it looks like. Well, really the 19th, the sun and Mercury will cross over each other. And as far as the 20th, we end up with Mercury at 28 degrees of Leo. So, like I said, it's the last full week of Leo, and we're going to enjoy it to the best of our abilities. We've got the moon today in Sagittarius, and the moon just broke the last, or I should say, the first quarter square, not the last. And what that means is this waxing moon is really pushing up to the full moon, and we're going to have that full moon on Monday, gangy. So be aware. And let me show you the full moon chart. It's so cool. 27 degrees of Leo. Let me tell you about this shit, man. Let's just get into it because this is why you're here. This is what you really want to know about on top of the retrograde. But, the full moon is a cycle of, it's a culmination of the cycle and then it presents a release. So the full moon is going to shift things in our lives. And this is a great time to manifest or banish things from your life. The moon controls the tides of the ocean. It has a strong energetic pull on the people of this world, like ourselves. So this is one of the best times to really work your magic if you happen to be, you know, spiritually and metaphysically inclined. But the most important thing to know about this full moon, guys, I'm going to circle it as you see it, is that, okay, the annotations are not working because Mercury is where? It's in retrograde. What the heck, man? Well, I don't know if you can see the cursor. You've got Uranus making a square to the sun and the moon. And in this chart, the Uranus shows up in the sixth house, even though it's going to be in a specific house for you, depending on where your ascendant is. But Uranus is square the sun, Uranus is square the moon. And Uranus is a planet that really reflects great change and innovation and freedom. So to me, this full moon seems like it's going to shake some shit up. And it's all about breaking out the box. It's all about not conforming or saying no more to the structures in our life that are tyrannical or hold us back from being our true selves. Global uprising is what I'm also feeling. I don't have it in this chart, guys, but there's some outer planetary squares, Pluto and Eris making a square. And if you look at the state of affairs in this world, we don't got to get too deep into it, but you know, it's a highly political time in America. There's a lot of civil unrest globally. There's wars breaking out. This is just a really fucked up, crazy time. It seems like there's also like another Cold War coming on. It's really fucking strange times on the planet. And I think just right off the rip, if we want to talk about this full moon on a more mundane level, this talks about some shit's about to break out on the planet for real. And the trajectory the last couple weird years has just been weird as fuck. Period. So just current events will show you, man, this shit's gonna get even weirder. Probably the longer we live. Period. But really, the full moon is gonna ask us, in what ways do you hold yourself back or put yourself in a box, or in what ways do you lack the confidence or the strength to really play a role or manifest your dreams and wishes. And that's really the key of Aquarius, guys. While this does represent groups and how we connect to the collective, Aquarius is all about how we wish and hope and aspire for things too. So, there's something very just auspiciously magic about the full moon in Aquarius this year, I should say. So just be very aware of yourself. Take this week to be selfish as all fuck, because if you really think about the sun aspect, each day this week, the sun is going to really push a little bit closer to Uranus. And then, on next Tuesday, it'll really break that square and then we'll start waning out of it. But as far as all this week, we start at a 7 degree orb away and then we basically end up at 0 degree orb. Okay. So that being said, just be ready for change. Freedom comes with a price. Your dreams come with the price. The work you want, you got to know that you want it. And I'm not meaning to sound verbose or just fill up the words, man. It's really about, are you about that action? Will you pay the price? What it takes, what it costs to make that sauce, to make that shit tick, 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 boom, ooh, ooh. So let me also say that Mercury is retrograde because we'll go into the moon a little bit more specifically after the rest of the planets. So where we start this week on Tuesday, Mercury is retrograde and it's going to be retro all week, but we're at the 0 degree of Virgo. So basically all week we're going to retrograde back into Leo. Okay. So Virgo is a really analytical and focused sign. It's very specific in its procedures. So I feel like the theme of last week with Mercury Virgo was really about organization and simplification and trying to build up a strategy. And I feel like this is going to be a pretty concurrent, it's not going to stop, it's going to keep going as far as themes. But with Leo energy, it's going to be more selfish and self referential. And that's going to say the emphasis this week is about being able to truly communicate personally or express our truths. And what I've also kind of divined about this and even seen in my personal life is that this just manifests as, communication issues or confidence issues or, having a hard time connecting with yourself. So, reassurance for yourself, positive affirmations, mirror talks, speaking louder, slowing down when you speak, all that shit is very effective for helping you communicate from a space of centeredness and conviction and clarity. Oh, yes. But also, I want to say that as Mercury goes back into retro, into Leo, it's going to make that square with Uranus as well, because Uranus sits there at about 27 Taurus. And that also could say that this retrograde, more specifically than other Mercury retrogrades, will do a lot with our technology. So just expect the unexpected and, you know, prepare more time for travel when you get around and use your technology, even just sometimes be patient, let things buffer, let things load, and, have backup plans, back up your data, and really slow down when you speak. And there is something to be said about Mercury Uranus, even outside of the retrograde, talking about, these mental breakthroughs or breakdowns. And there's just a lot of electrical energy running through the mind. It's going to make us question things to really seek higher truth and consciousness. And that is just going to make people, like I said, question things, question their space in the world. What am I doing? Does this even make sense? Do I have the right information? Finding ways to ground this nervous energy that we might be feeling this week is going to be really key for us to maintain happy and productive mental lives and not get overloaded or overstimulated. Okay. So let's talk about Venus. Yeah, Venus. That's the next one. That would make the most sense. So Venus is in the sign of Virgo. And while that was pretty cool for Mercury, that kind of sucks for Venus. And let me just keep it 100, guys. Like, Venus hates this shit, but at the same time, it does have a payoff. It does have an equivalent reward, but Venus talks about how we love and value things, and Virgo just wants things to be improved upon. And standards are beautiful. Life without standards would be kind of a strange thing if you really think about it. But while the beauty's in the details, the devil is in them too, man. So Virgo Venus wants us to grow simply, and that just can make it hard for us to appreciate where we are right now. So it's good to look at how far you've come and how much growth you've already had in this life, and let that be a source of motivation or inspiration for the next level. Okay. The love of service is a really beautiful thing that comes to Virgo Venus. So having relationships that serve a good purpose and that are also, mutually independent. So nobody really ends up interrupting somebody or overburdening them with their needs. And another thing that Virgo Venus really talks about outside of relationships is your love of service, just in general, the love of the work. So finding ways to change up your routine, change up your schedule, or even, make sure you're in the right vocation, period, is really going to be the subject matter as well, guys. Because if your job is something that you hate and it's not even paying the bills or, giving you the resources you need, you got to get the fuck out of there. And also, you may have a job that does pay the bills, but you hate it so much and it drains your life to the point where, it might not even be worth the money that you're making from it. Where if you were to step back and even take a pay cut, but have something that gives you joy, you'd actually be able to make more money and live a better life and not have to deal with the fucking stress. So the quality of our lives is also something that goes under consideration when it comes to Virgo Venus. Do I want to live this way? How am I doing this? Like, is this what I want? you know? Are you guys having these conversations with yourself, or is this just me? But ooh, hey, and I wanted to say I'm a genius. I didn't write this down, but let me tell you, Mark got the sauce, and he will always let you know what's good. On the full moon. Why did I forget this? Because I need to tell you now. I'm keeping it consistent, actually. The Venus aspect this week. This is also going to be on Monday. So when we have this full moon, guys, we're going to have Venus making an opposition to Saturn. Yeah. Now you've been informed. Consider yourself educated. Hell yeah. And what that basically means is, these breakthroughs may center around relationships and money as well. Stability and finance and just making sure that our, resources and our patterns and our income is really consistent and congruent. And, you know, the next thing we're going to really talk about is the Saturn and Jupiter square and the Mars and Saturn square and the conjunction of Mars and Jupiter. But as Jupiter and Saturn have been getting closer over these last couple weeks, I've been talking to you guys about how this theme that we're going through is consolidation, which just means really adjusting and moving our resources back where they need to go and looking at our growth and stabilizing it. Meaning, we have an A, B, and C game. A is your highest performance, C is your worst, and B is kind of the average. And while we want to seek to improve upon our strengths, we also have to really mitigate and limit our weaknesses and, consolidate and try to make things a little bit more even and spread out, even as opposed to spread out. Or we may be looking for depth and base at this point, as opposed to height, you know? So removing extraneous things from your life or simplifying things, habit stacking, consolidation, you know, I think, and I don't want to explain the word with the word, but just imagine if you worked in like a workshop and you had a bunch of power tools and paint and, labels and raw materials and wrenches and saws and all types of whatnot. And then let's say that you had 10 projects throughout the day and also other people working in the shop. And it's like, imagine your shop at the end of the day, it may need some consolidation. Beyond cleaning, you might need to put all the lug nuts back in the same box because they're all scattered around, and you may need to, stack the paint cans all by themselves and, take all the dirt and the clippings or whatever and put them in the trash. And, everything needs to be consolidated and grouped in and, integrated. So that's kind of the theme. And I think I've really like hit the nail on the coffin to the point where like, bro, we ran out of nails. I just been beating the coffin or the horse. And, you know, they were like, dude, is that even legal? Like, but it take you in downtown, man. Horse murderer. Fuck is you talking about? So Venus is gonna be opposing Saturn. And if I'm backtracking, I don't want to forget about this. This is also on my notes, guys. So let me hit this before we really go into the dimensions of this Mars energy and the mutable signs. Well, Venus in Virgo is really mutable as well, but that conjunction is what I mean to say. So Venus and Saturn will make this opposition. So this does talk about beyond consolidating our resources, balancing our relationships. Yeah, it's about getting your money right, but it's really about, having the correct boundaries when it comes to the people in your life. And are we building? Are we constructing something? Where are we going? And how do we do this? And this look like a serious outlook towards relationships. So we want to just maintain positivity and love this week. And the beautiful thing that I'm seeing is that as we break Saturn, basically, and this will be a theme more for next week, guys, but Venus is going to start applying to a square with Mars. And this really is going to excite our passion for life, our lust for life, and our want for romance and connection and fun. And, this is going to be really exciting. This is a very sexy angle. So prepare yourself, man. The week that we have right now, guys, really just looks like we're making space, okay? That's what I'm feeling with this one is like we're getting centered within ourselves. We are locking in, making sure our focus is right, cut out all the bullshit and distractions so we can live our best lives, man. Anything that makes us feel less than we are, anything that dims our shine, any person, place, thing, habit, circumstance, or event, we're gonna cut that shit the fuck out, control, alt, delete that shit. I got no time for this shit. I only got one life, man. And destiny is when desire and opportunity converge. So I can't leave that shit to chance. I'm an active participant in my fucking life. Yes, sir. And that's the attitude. And if you don't don that hat, man, don't be surprised if that shit passes you by. It's your choice to get up and chase your dreams or not. Okay. I have this thought echoing through my mind. And I said this shit years ago, like around New Year's one year. I was like, if you don't change coming into this year, the year will be exactly the fucking same for you, man. And that's every day, bro. What are we doing to guarantee our destiny? Definitive action. That's right. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about Mars. Mars, stay with Mark. Let me tell you guys, Mars starts this week in Gemini, conjunct to Jupiter. And holy fucking shit. Mars governs our energy, our passion. It governs our direction, the choices we make. And Gemini is so fluid and adaptable. It doesn't really pick things a lot of times. It's a sign that loves variety and multiplicity and travel, interaction. So Mars got us thinking a lot and you know, staying adaptable and fluid. And there may be this curious, this restless energy that wants to learn and interact and just play and, see what's going on. Mars and Jupiter are making this conjunction, okay? In this cycle, check the ephemeris. It should last anywhere between 2 to 3 years, depending on, retrograde cycles and what have you. But maybe about 2 to 4 years if I'm doing the math right, because both of these are going to be moving. Jupiter has a 12-year orbit. Mars has about a 2 or 3 year orbit. So that's where I get that figure is that maybe about 4, because sometimes Mars has to catch up a little bit to the distance Jupiter's done on top of its orbit. But that's besides the point. I will just say that this is a joining of these two energies, guys. And Jupiter and Mars really has an expanded sense of meaning. This will really add to our Leo shine. And it's pretty cool because the sun was sextile last week to both of these planets. And, this looks like confidence. It looks like more spirit in our step, more pep. And this will help us take risks. It will help us invest in ourselves, be more willing to take a chance, make the first step on the adventure and see what the journey's about. But also, we just want to make sure that we calculate our risk and do things smart. Okay. So we got this T square, dude. This is the most interesting thing this week. But you know, what I want to kind of highlight is that both of these planets, they're gonna be square to Saturn. And I think this is really gonna be probably the best thing to share because I feel like we're gonna feel this part of it even more. Saturn is a limiting factor, and Jupiter is an expanding influence. So these two really work cooperatively to help us grow in life and to form structure in any magnitude. So, Saturn is really going to add the form and the reality to something, okay? So what's interesting is that, as we were talking about earlier, the Saturn Jupiter square can talk about just consolidation, which in my opinion is one of the best ways to draw these energies together, to expand your limitation and to limit your expansion, and just to really regroup things, okay? And then to see what needs to be changed or if something needs to genuinely be altered in some fundamental way to make things actually more conducive to your goals. Because what was driving you forward in the past may not be containing or yielding the same effect necessarily at this point. So that's really the point of changing our directions on a physical level, but even on a mental or a spiritual level. Your desires might change. What you thought you wanted might not be the thing that you wanted. And, it's just about being real serious about direction at this point. But when it comes to Mars and Saturn making a square, what this really does is you know, it strengthens our desires and it really builds a form of discipline. And I have a book, and this is a beautiful book. It's a very thick chungus. It's a big mungus. This is Planets in Transit. Planets in Transit by Robert Hannes. This book is the shit. So I'm gonna read a couple excerpts from this book, and shout out Robert Janis, Hannes McGannis. He wrote about all the transits. He said, fuck it, dude, don't even worry. Robert got you covered. So let me read the excerpt on Jupiter square Saturn. All right, and I might skim it, but just understand under this transit, we'll make adjustments in our lives and we'll separate from any person or circumstance that's doing us no good. And we change standards or behavior and morality that you realize are inappropriate, and you generally realign your conception of duty and responsibility to be more with reality. In this process, we may find a lot of tension, or a time we may be confused, not really knowing if we need to go back or forward or expand or cut back. And we may want to go inside of ourselves for a while. And, other people's advice will be of little value unless you select your own advisors with great care. And the challenge here is to increase and go forward in some areas, but to cut back in others. So you'll be able to keep everything going no matter how you will not. Oh, damn. You'll not be able to keep everything going no matter how much you want to. Unfortunately, there's no way of telling in advance which areas of your life will be affected. But as with other Saturn Jupiter contexts, there is a strong feeling of restlessness and uncertainty. So you know clearly that something's wrong, but you're not sure what it is. And the best way to deal with this is to not be in a hurry. Usually you'll have the time you need to make a decision on careful observation. So in business matters, it's a very critical time. Not necessarily bad, but it means whatever you do now will have more important effect than usual on the future. So be patient while you find the right solution to your problems, and be careful with your finances because there's a strong tendency to resent the limitations that they impose on your freedom and movement. And you may act impulsively as if there were no real limitations at all right now. And that's fucking crazy. And it's possible that you could change jobs and a new offer gives more opportunities to get ahead than the old job. In that case, you definitely want to take it. And the chances are often beneficial. But in general, you should take any opportunity that comes along to broaden your scope and release yourself from limitations that held you back. And the trick to do so is a way that's not disruptive in a destructive way. So that's Jupiter Saturn, and well put, Mr. Hand, and that's really reassuring for me, and I hope that hits home for you guys. And let's talk about Mars square Saturn, and just mind you, these both are occurring at the same time with their shamalama ding dong, dude. It's really like we're kicking this week off with this. Damn, I'm animating it. All right, boom. With this conjunction junction, what's the function? So under the transit of Mars and Saturn, proceed slowly and cautiously because the more thoroughly and carefully we perform any task, the more chance there is that it will succeed. But if you're careless, it has very little scope of success. And usually, this transit is very frustrating and irritating when all your efforts to assert yourself are blocked in some way, more by a sense of internal inadequacy than by circumstance or other people. You may feel that your inner energies are struggling to assert themselves against your inhibitions to get you moving in some way. So, fear is often an important factor preventing you from being as effective as you want to be right now. You think that you will fail because of your inadequacies as a person, and the challenge is to recognize what you really are and what you can do without being overwhelmed by the imaginary fears. And I hope you can see the archetypes as a language too, because desire is reflected by our Mars, the choices, what we want, and Saturn is the limit, the fear, the inhibition. Okay. During this transit, authority figures, parents, employers, even people whom you respect may discourage you at this time. So somehow their remarks embody the very essence of your worst suspicions about yourself. But you can't derive your ultimate feelings about yourself from others, no matter how much you respect them. The purpose of the transit is to learn whether in your daily life you can act with true knowledge of who you are. However, you're not likely to take negative reinforcement lying down, even if it comes from within yourself. So the part of you that's struggling to break free from inhibitions will feel very angry at being held back. And consequently, you're likely to be irritable and easily angered. And although your inner doubts make you reluctant to show your anger openly, no matter how much you try to cover it up, everyone will be quite aware that you're seething inside for real. Because you got that look on your face, man. You just feel tense. And the ambiguity that you feel during this transit makes it difficult to act successfully. So, for one part, is holding you back, holding on, and the other one's trying to be free. So, the best way to handle the transit is to confront yourself and not try to initiate anything very grand in the outer world as well. So, heard it from Mr. Hand. Says that on one level, on all levels, fuck that, bro. This T square is fucked up. I'm gonna be 100 with you guys. The Jupiter, Mars, Saturn T square, and then Venus will kind of pop up in there as well. So, hey man, let's just keep Saturn as like the pivotal focus. There's spiritual readjustments happening across the board for all of us, all the motherfuckers in the physical universe here, man. So energy levels are meant to be considered, our passions, our relationships with ourselves. It's Leo season. There's going to be a strong need for complete reassurance and acceptance across the board when it comes to our personal lives, how we relate to ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and, you know, usher ourselves on, gang. So let's go through the week, highlight this energy, and just have a fun ass time. And just remember, you create your life. There's a lot to think about as far as aspects, ingress. Check your own chart, watch the houses, and see what goes downs is. And what we're gonna do is open up the chart. I'm gonna move it forward, and this is basically like the moment that I'm filming. It's about 11:46 on the dot, and we've got the moon in Sagittarius, and it was Tuesday. Tuesday's almost over. Happy Mars Day, everybody, or whenever day you're watching it. Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sunday, Moon Day, whatever day. It's a blessed day. So let's go and just say, the moon in Sagittarius, it's a happy time. For me personally, because I got the Pluto in Sagittarius, a lot of you guys have that too. The moon hitting my Pluto, it was a fun time, but at the same time, it felt very serious. And then I ate, and I think I don't really get hangry, but I get like the sad version of hangry. So after I ate, I started feeling Sagittarius moon again. But for a little bit, I was like, damn, am I dead on the inside? Pluto on the moon or moon on the Pluto. But hey, boom, 1 hour from now, it's Wednesday, my dudes. Ah, so hey, we're gonna wake up feeling funky fresh, moon in Sagittarius. But on God, a lot of us will wake up with the moon square to Saturn. So this might be like, oh shit, one of those days where you're like, I ain't really trying to get out of bed. So hopefully you wake up with that pep in your step. And if it's hard, maybe just roll out of bed, and maybe that you know, is the word center, fuck, make up a word. That force that makes you hit the ground when the gravity, yeah, that gravity, when you hit the ground, you might get your energy from that and roll out of bed with the moon square Saturn. But in any regard, make sure you free yourself and feel yourself with this moon trine the sun. And we will have that Venus Virgo, and this is really the day that Mercury will make its way back into Leo as we're going through Wednesday. So the moon in Sag says keep it light, keep it happy, have fun. And Thursday, this is Wednesday night. Thursday is really going to be kicking off with Sagittarius moon yet again. So you're going to wake up feeling Sagittarius moon. And then sometime around like 1 o'clock or so, and I'm looking at Central Standard Time. So you adjust for your local time zone or whatnot. But we'll have the moon kind of go void and then go into Capricorn. So then we kind of switch to, then we got to stand on business, man. And things get a little more serious. And we're like, damn, the party's over. Yeah, it's time to get back to work. Oh shit. So we planning it out. We getting our shit together, and the moon goes square the nodes on Thursday night. So we may be sleeping through this, but basically I'm kind of feeling like there's going to be a need to get extra rest around this time because of the emotional release that's really happening in the collective with that moon square the nodes. Oh yeah, that's how it goes. And what else we got going on? And mind you guys, as the week is creeping up, we got the sun applying to Uranus in the square, and we got Mercury doing the same shit, but they're coming in different directions. So Uranus was like, I'll fight both of you motherfuckers. Don't give a damn. And they both fell on their ass, and Uranus didn't give a damn. And that's the way that story goes, basically. Just foreshadowing for the full moon coming up. So we got Friday kicking off, and we got that moon in Capricorn. And mind you guys, if you're looking at the moon, it's going to get brighter and brighter and it's going to get shinier. And oh my God, is mama filling up? Yeah. Yeah. Mama's about to hit the restroom and she going to do her thing basically because she's full, bro, essentially. So, pause, man. Resume. We got the moon going through Cap. Friday's a pretty serious day. And the sun is always going to be in Leo this week. So, don't let that seriousness, that self reserve stop you from having fun. Make sure that you recognize your life as a game as you're going through this Capricorn moon, as we're pushing even into Saturday, man, because Saturday is like Capricorn moon once again. And what's crazy about this is that the moon starts going into Pluto on Saturday. So usually the emotions and the way that we approach our life, on top of having this Saturn energy and the Virgo energy, it's very structured and ordered and very realistic and kind of external. But when Pluto pops in, man, we really have to take things to the depth and really go beneath the scenes. And the Pluto moon cycle is this emotional rebirth that we're going to be feeling this weekend. And this really primes us for that full moon, which is going to hit in just a couple days after this one, man. So Saturday, it just feels like, we've got all this pressure building all fucking week. And then Saturday, Sunday, we'll keep the moon in Aquarius. It's going to be almost full at this point. And at this point, the sun is only like 1 degree away from perfectly square with Uranus. So then we hit Monday night, and you see at this point, the moon is very close to square or opposite the sun. So around 2 in the evening, I should say 1 in the evening, Central Standard Time, we're going to have this full moon go peaking. So Monday night is a good time to do any workings if you are inclined that way as well. But either way that goes, man, Sunday night, anytime Monday is a great time to write that list of what do you need to release? What do you want to let go of within your life? And as a specific theme, this really deals with character development, like what things hold you back from confidence, what things hold you back from true self expression, what fears do you have that get in your way, and in what ways do you break yourself down or criticize you. And also, I really want to say, because I'm a Leo myself, so I'm not saying this to hurt anybody's feelings, but I know from personal experience that Leo can just highlight all the character liabilities, and one of the biggest is laziness, you know. So when we don't reap, we don't sow. Or when we sow, damn, you get what I'm saying. I can blame it on Mercury, but I fucked it up, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. If you don't sow, you don't reap. If you don't plant, you don't eat. And that's what it is. So we gotta put in the work. And really, our glory is gonna come through consistent acts, not fleeting moments of glory, you know. That's where the greatness lies. Consistent effort. Okay. Who we build day in and day out. That's the message. All right. So the full moon right here is really going to ask us, you know, how can we live our dreams? How can we build into the future that we want to live in? Who do we have to be? What actions do we have to take to conspire for success? And I really feel like with Saturn being such a key theme in this moon, not only Uranus is going to really have us trying to break out of every mode, and Saturn's going to have to try to give us support through this whole T square. So I really feel like this full moon is a walking W. So we're going to make the most out of it, guys. And we're just going to be really clear and, you know, sit within the art space this time and really just think about what the fuck is it that I want. Fear is all that can hold you back, guys. So just know that the inspired, definitive action. If you listen, if you just want something bad enough, simply, you'll just take the corresponding actions to get it. Because the desire is so strong, no fear could be strong enough to hold you back from it because it'd be a worthwhile risk. So basically, you either lack the skills or the confidence, essentially. So you either know you need to know more and you genuinely know how to find more answers because you have the internet, you're not helpless, or it's the fact that you haven't really addressed or understood what you're afraid of and really taken the time to ponder the potential dangers of it. Because if you realized how low the risk was, or if you realized where your fear genuinely comes from in correspondence with your desire, you'd be more apt to pursue the desire. Okay. Your world is yours. Go after your dreams, gang. So, we letting go, man. And then basically at the end of the day, Monday, we'll switch moon into Pisces. Okay. So get some good sleep Monday night and really wake up refreshed, ready for part two. Moon in Pisces part two the next day on Tuesday. And then we'll talk more about that Venus Mars square and, you know, all the exciting things in Virgo season and, you know, the Virgo reasons to get your shit together, man. Cause why are we out here looking like a mess? Oh no. I wanted to say oh yes for the rhyme, but damn, next time. Hey, I love you, Fire Family. I've had fun with this video. I hope it was exciting. I hope it was entertaining. I hope the title is clickbait enough. Still don't know what I'm gonna call it, but we're gonna figure that shit out, man. I love you guys from the bottom of my Libra moon heart, top of my Pluto Sag soul. I'm about to go and leave a like, you know, for the engagement, for the algorithm. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the flippity flip. Bye for now.